Hey coaches, appreciate you tuning into my YouTube channel. This week has been about, for me, offensive line play in the Gun T RPO system. Been trying to give you some concepts that maybe you can use with whatever offense you run. If you want specifically what we do with game film, practice film, and in 100 different flavors, you can go to my website, fbcoachsimpson.com. There's some free materials on there. There's some that don't cost very much on there. And then if you want to get my entire system, the playbook is on there. I've been honored that 400 people, reaching 500 I think this week, hopefully by the end of it, have been willing to look at my stuff through my playbook, and well over 5,000 people have gotten courses off of CoachTube or my website. And so thank you for you if you've done that. I appreciate it's humbling, honestly. If you would like more information, though, you can go there and get it if you haven't already done so. Or you can reach out to me, and I'll do the best that I can to reach back out to you at fbcoachsimpson@gmail.com. So this week has been about offensive line play. So we talked about philosophy for me and personnel, which for us, we do flop our line, strong and weak, or quick. That way we can maximize reps and we can maximize the personnel issues we may be facing. We've been doing drills, so I spent a couple days on some drills that we do. Then today is about alignment. Alignment, how we decide on alignment. We are a Gun T, which means a lot of wing T base concepts within our run scheme. It's not all that, but we have a lot of it inside of our run scheme. So when you're talking about that, the first thing most people think about is depth. If you're a double wing or a wing T or really a pin and pull type team, it is important to get a little bit of depth in your alignment, not enough to give things away. And it's something we continually work on because our guys like to kind of cheat back if they're going to pull or whatever they're going to do. We would like to have our helmet on the belt of the center, which allows us to be back. It clarifies gap down backer for us on a lot of deals. It also allows our pullers to get out and get into space. And it allows our guys that are making down blocks an extra step or two for a very quick defensive player. And so that's the idea behind the depth, to get as deep as we're legally allowed to get. And then we work on width. Our concept on width is a lot like receivers. We have base rules, and then we have rules to help create space. So think about it, if you coach receivers, you probably have a general alignment. We're always going to align on the top of the numbers, or we're going to split number one in the tackle, whatever it is. And then you have different tags that you call to move your guys around to create issues for a defense. Maybe you bunch them up, maybe you spread them way out and stack them. Whatever it is, you have a call there. So we're trying to take the same concept into the offensive line. So our base rules would be 2 feet apart. So we want to be 2 feet apart, and that will fluctuate depending on our ability level and the defense's ability level and the defense's philosophy. If we're playing a defense that is trying to stunt and to move a lot, okay, we're probably going to shrink our splits a little bit. If we're playing a team that's pretty stagnant in a 3 and a 5 or a 1 and a whatever, we're probably going to get a little bit wider if we can. It's also dependent upon the ability level of our own kids. Last year, I was blessed with a very big offensive line, but we weren't very quick. So we shrunk those splits down pretty dramatically. This year will be more of a traditional line. We'll be good size, but also pretty athletic, and so we'll probably try to widen as much as possible. In my experience, the wider you can go, the better, but you don't want to do that if your kids are unable to make those blocks, okay? The other thing we'll do a lot of times on our alignment is we'll take advantage of the defense's alignment. So the defense wants to line up, and let's say we're running belly, okay, and the defense wants to line up in a 3 technique and maybe a 9 technique. Well, we want to take that tight end and flex them out a little bit wider, so we push the 9 technique out wider, okay? Or we may take our guard and put him out wider so the A gap gets a little bit bigger there, okay? Or we may tighten the split if we're going to try to get a double team. You can't be glaringly obvious with this, but what we have found is this: coaches notice that. Kids never notice that. And so you can get away with that a whole lot of times in a game of moving splits around depending on what you're trying to accomplish, because it's really hard to see horizontal splits on the sideline. It's real hard to see that. They'll see it after the fact, but they won't see it right then. So a lot of times we want to run belly or some kind of ISO play or belly read or whatever it is. We want to get that guy out wider, we'll do that. If we want to run a play where we're all blocking down, so it could be buck, counter, whatever it is, okay, we may tighten our splits up to create more of a wall to get what we want. But all of it is always dependent upon what we're facing. So don't just, you give a blanket statement, you need to teach your base, but then you need to teach your kids why. Why would we want to widen our splits here? Why would we want to shrink our splits here? So when you go into a game, it's real easy to kind of remind them, hey, remember we run belly, and they'll even, oh, I need to do this. Remember we're running whatever, I can do this. Remember, guys, this week we looked at film, and they like to blitz on whatever down, or number 57 likes to, remember we want to, and so these are things you're constantly having conversations on. And we do it all the time with skill players. We harp all the time about them being not aligned right. But a lot of times with our linemen, we kind of ignore it, or we don't address it as much because it's not as obvious. And the idea in our system is to use them the same way we use our skill kids, to coach them the same with the same ideas of let's create space and make your job easier after the snap happens. So appreciate you guys checking out my system. If you've, a lot of you have already got a lot of it, but there's plenty of it available on fbcoachsimpson.com or on CoachTube. You can also go on, I think FB Coach Simpson, I've got a free drill video on there. All you gotta do is put your email in and it'll shoot you the drill video. And there's a lot of other resources there as well. And I'm really excited, I put a recommendations page on there. I get a lot of resources from a lot of people. You know, that's how I learned, and that's how I'm trying to give back now. And so I put a bunch of people I've used. So there's a new page added onto my website with people that I would recommend, that I either know personally or that I've personally worked with and can vouch that this is good stuff. So if you have a chance, go check that out. Appreciate you guys' time.